Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Linda. If you're a returning subscriber, you're welcome. And if you're a new subscriber, you're just coming across this channel, you're highly welcome. So today I'm going to be sharing with you guys how to drive this high-waist cargo joggers. If this seems like what you're interested in, you might definitely want to stick around and hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to tap on the notification bell. So let's begin. For this, you'll be needing the following measurements. Pause to read. So guys, I already have my pattern paper from the video we created previously on this channel. You're going to get this on my channel, so I recommend you go watch that first of all before you come back. So I'll just go ahead and illustrate how to draft it a little bit before I continue. So if you want to draft this, fold your fabric into two using the widest part of your lower body, which is your hip circumference, divided by 4. So for mine it's 41. I added extra 4 inches to that. Just keep paying attention and you'll find out why. I also didn't forget to take the length of my trouser pant, which is 45 inches, and added extra 5 inches at the ankle length. If you're measuring directly on your fabric, go ahead and mark 1 inch from the outer seam like this and deduct 1.5 inch for your band. The total band is 2 inches, so if you're deducting 1.5, it means you are going to have half of an inch for the joining allowance. So now I wrote that line. If you are to draft on your fabric, just go ahead and mark that line. You'll be starting from that line, the 1.5 inch mark, and then take your hip line from that part, which is 9 inches for me, and then your crotch line, which is 12 inches for me, and then your knee length and your ankle length. Okay, so because I am saving time, I'm going to draft this right away with my pattern paper. Don't forget to watch the video on how to create this 2-in-1 trouser pattern paper, which I drafted in my jumpsuit tutorial. So after placing my pattern paper on my fabric, the next thing I'm going to do is just to go ahead and fold in the bands for the trouser. I'll be starting with the back piece. So this is the band from the back piece. So what I'll be doing next is just to go ahead and fold it inwards and then also folding this piece of the front. Okay, just pay close attention and you understand what I'm doing. So this is the band for the back. I am done folding it inwards, and what I'm going to have is just something like this, and then I'll go ahead and start marking out my 1 inch line all around the pattern. So I'll go ahead and mark half of an inch at this part at the crotch area, and then 1 inch all around the pattern, and at the waistline also I'll be marking half of an inch. This half of an inch is going to enable me to join it to the band later on. So guys, this is how the down part is looking like. I already went ahead to add my extra 5 inches at the down, and then the next thing I want to do right now is just to go ahead and cut it out. Now after I was done cutting it out, I said to notch the dart which you see me marking. So I'm just going to take my scissors and notch the dart for the back piece. The dart is written in black. Okay, so that is for the back. I'm going to do the same thing for the front right now. And then when stitching, I'm going to double fold this part to hem it after I was done with everything. The same thing we did for the back piece is what I'm going to do for the front. So now it's time to draft the front. So for the front, I went ahead to fold my fabric into two, just as wide enough to contain the front pattern. And then the next thing I'll do right now is just to fold in the edges of the back like this, and then I'll also go ahead and fold in the waist. After I was done folding in the band at the waistline, I also went ahead to cut out this part and then draw out the crotch for the front. So I'll be removing this part which I had masking tape on and then shaping out the front. And this is how the front is going to look like. This is how it's going to look like. And then I'm still going to fold in this piece of the back and I'll be taking it in like this, little by little, just following the line for the front piece. I'm not going to be adding any form of that at the front. I'm going to be deducting that later on, and then I'll fold the rest of the back piece inwards just for the front to lay out nicely. And then heading back to the waistline, I'll just go ahead and remove this part so that I could just be able to eliminate that. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and mark this and curve it, follow the lines also, and then trace it out. After I was done tracing the lines, I decided to cut it out as well, and now we have our front piece. To cut out the side pockets, I went ahead to measure 2.5 inches from the outer seam for the pocket like this. You can measure 2 inches or 1.5 because we'll be using half inch to turn in the pocket. So I went downwards at this point by 7 inches as well. I'm just going to use my French curve and connect a curved line like this. You can decide to use a freehand, it's all up to you. After I was done marking the lines, it's time to cut it out. And then I proceed to cut out the zipper fly. So now what I'll do is just to go ahead and place my tape this way. I'll be measuring 8 inches from that point, okay, 8 inches from my zipper fly, and then I'll be marking that down. And next thing I'll do right now, just to get a piece of fabric that is 2 inches to 2.5 inches wide, and then I'll be measuring the same 8 inches at that point, cross-checking what I have for the wideness of the zipper fly. So I have about 2.5 inches that point. I'm just going to use only 2.5 inches at that point, and then I'll be using my curved roller to curve it like this. You can go ahead and use your free hand if you wish to. So after I was done cutting out the zipper fly, this is what I have. I'll just go ahead and pin it and set it aside for now. The next thing I'll be doing right now is to cut out the side pockets, I mean the pocket and the pocket facing in one piece, okay? For my pocket, I got half yards of culture fabric just for my pocket, and I chose to use this particular fabric because it's very thick and it's going to serve the purpose for my cargo pockets, including my side pockets. So now the next thing I'll be doing is just to go ahead and cut out my side pockets, including the cargo pockets for the sides of my trouser, just as seen in the picture. I'm going to place one pocket here, and then I'm going to place the second one somewhere here, around here, or even here, okay? I'll be placing 2 cargo pockets on the right side and then 2 on the left side of the trouser. To cut out the pocket for the sides, using this piece of fabric I took out for the pockets, I'll be measuring 8 inches by width like this, and then I'll be measuring 14 inches long like this. So I'll just go ahead and measure that out and mark it out with my chalk, and then I'm going to be using that as a guide to trim out my pocket. So after I was done with the side pockets, it's time to cut out the cargo pockets and their covers. Here I'll be measuring 9 inches, okay? So I'll just go ahead and adjust this part upwards, and then I'll mark 9 inches long for the upper pocket. So because I want to be making a fold at the top, I'm just going to mark it, and then the next thing I'll be doing is just to extend the lines to cut out multiple pockets. If you want, you can go ahead and cut your pockets on fold, but I'll later go ahead and cut it one after the other. This is because I want to manage my fabric. And then now I'll be measuring 7 inches at this point like this, okay? And then I'll just go ahead and that into a straight line like you see me doing. And then the next is just to go ahead and make sure I do the same thing for the other parts. So I'm going to be folding it inwards like this, okay? So I'll just go ahead and repeat the same thing I did for this, because I'm cutting out 2 pockets. First of all, I was supposed to cut out 4 at once, but I'm taking my time to cut it one after the other. Now the next thing I'll be doing is to cut out the second pocket. For this particular one, I'll be making it 12 inches long. This is because I want it to appear bigger. So I'll be measuring 12 inches, then I'll fold the end 1 inch to make it 11 inches total. And then for the width, I'll be measuring 9 inches. So I'm just going to cut out 2 for this, and that is all. And then I'll go ahead and cut out the pocket cover. Right now, as you see on my work table, I have gone ahead to cut out 4 of my pockets and the covers. For the bigger pocket, I have times 2 of it, so I'm just going to have 2 here, and then for the smaller one I have 2. So the covers are also the same thing. I have 1 of these covers for each of the pockets. Okay, so I'm further going to share this into 2 because I don't want you to misunderstand. The covers are going to be divided into 2 equal half again. So I have about 3.5 inches for the covers on both sides on fold. The size of the covers for this pocket can vary from one person to another. If you want, you can make yours 4 inches or even 5 inches. It's totally up to you. So this is the side pocket I cut out initially. I'm going to be stitching these parts together to my pockets. So the other side is going to be my pocket facing. So now this is my pocket side, and I'm just going to open it up. This is a 2 front piece. In my next video, I'll be attaching the zipper fly, and as well I'll be stitching the pockets as well. Until then, bye for now.